Hello, class. So in this video, I'll be showing you how to make your second piece of evidence for your coffee filter CER. You've actually already made your first piece of evidence, which is the individual graph that you made for your number of coffee filters. So this will be the second piece of evidence. So here is data taken from all the classes I have. So to quickly go through it, in column A, you'll see that I've listed the number of filters. So you were assigned either one coffee filter or 6 coffee filters. The gravitational force will be next. Note that the gravitational force is the lowest for one filter, and as I go up from 2 filter, 3 to 6, it increases. These are actually the average gravitational forces for the people that study this number of coffee filters. Followed by that, what I've done is actually taken 5 different people that have each studied one coffee filter, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I kind of took out data at the bottom end and top end, leaving the middle of the data for each of these numbers of coffee filters. What we're going to do to understand TV or terminal velocity is actually take an average here of the data. And I want you to be able to do this so you can see how the computer can do some of this math for you. So in H1, I am first going to label this with the information I'm going to place in it. So this is going to be average terminal velocity TV in meters per second. Okay, so I've labeled my column in box H1. Below that, I'm going to place a formula. Formulas allow me to calculate average from data. And here I go. Any formula in Sheets starts with an equal sign. And like my computer, yours might recommend something, it might not. But what you're going to do is after that equal sign, you're going to type the word average. This is a mean average, so the average when you add up all your numbers and divide by that many. And once you do, click on average. All right. Then once you have that, you'll realize that it's probably recommending what it wants you to take an average of, but we don't want this gravitational forces part of it. We just want our terminal velocity values. So I'm going to highlight that data, which in this case is C2 colon G2. And then after that, I'll hit enter. It suggests an autofill for you. And you can accept that autofill. But if it doesn't, here's what you do to move the data to the other rows is you go to the bottom right corner of the box, drop down, and it will move your numbers down for you. Some of you also may want to look at terminal velocity not as a negative value, but a positive value. This is how you would do that. You go back up to the first box, H2, and before the word average, if you place a negative sign, it will make what that negative number was now positive. A negative times a negative is a positive. Again, accept the autofill or move down that box if it's not, and we have terminal velocity figures. All right, for a simple table to put in your lab report, we're going to grab column A and column B, which has the number of filters and the gravitational force. Drop that below, copy and paste. And I'm going to copy my new average terminal velocity column too. But this is a little harder. Since this is a calculated column, I can't just use control via regular paste. I actually have to do a special paste. And to do that, I go edit, paste special, values only. Okay? The regular paste will not work if you try it. Then finally, to finish off this table, I'm going to highlight everything and go up to this top button that says borders and click all borders. This is so the boxes will move with your values when you copy and paste this into your Google Doc to write your CER. So a few hints in the CER. If you look back to Classroom, you'll find that I have a question, which is really a 2-part question. To answer the first part of your question, think about your individual graph. To answer the second part of the question, which is really looking at how the number of filters or how the gravitational force affects the terminal velocity value, you can use this table. Okay, so remember, claim is one sentence. Do your best to write one sentence. to answer my questions. Your evidence should have your individual graph and this new table we made here with class data in it. And remember, reasoning is a paragraph. Think of it as your claim being your intro sentence, and then you're explaining how your data supports that claim. Good luck.